Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. Things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and medications are hard to pronounce, so please bear with me. Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready.
So how's your start to the day, Jeff?
Start to the day was beautiful. It was great. It's beautiful out. I went for 2 walks. I feel great, as opposed to yesterday when I felt like crap. And I had apparently a tonic, part of a clonic seizure.
And that was a total surprise. Didn't feel it coming?
Didn't feel it coming, total surprise. And all of a sudden I was sitting in my recliner and I just went rigid.
Oh yeah, I saw you posting that. Yeah.
And I wasn't sure what it is, but I figured it was a seizure. But I didn't realize you could have a tonic without a clonic.
Yeah.
So you're totally aware the whole time?
Yeah. Yeah. I was totally aware. And I don't remember it now, but I was totally aware while it was happening, and I couldn't stop it. It was only like 15, 20 seconds, but I had no control over it.
Shoot.
So could that be what they call like myoclonic jerks, or it was full body?
Yeah, it was the whole body.
It wasn't just one side?
No,
I've been through that.
Entire body.
Yeah,
I
I've been through
side.
that.
Yeah.
Somebody told me it was a complex partial.
Yeah.
I had a seizure and I was in the front seat, and it was like I fell over. I'm like hitting my head on the window, and I can feel myself gritting my teeth and all that. I can hear everybody in panic around me. I couldn't do anything, but I could hear everyone around me. I could tell I was having a seizure and I couldn't control it. And I could feel my head hitting the window. I could feel myself like lightly biting my tongue and my teeth gritting my teeth the whole time. I know what you're talking about. Someone told me that was a complex partial. I'm not sure yet. I was going to talk to my doctor about it, but someone told me that's a complex partial.
Because somebody responded yesterday that it was a tonic seizure. And when I Googled it, that's kind of how it described it. Just as being rigid for about 15 or 20 seconds.
So how was recovery after that? Did you have any, feel like the usual headache and the stuff that kind of lasts after a tonic-clonic? Oh.
Yeah, I had the headache. It wasn't quite as bad, but it was there. I had, the fatigue, some confusion, not as bad as after, full partial. But I mean, the fatigue and a little confusion was the worst part. And I was scared shitless. I just didn't know what was going on.
That would be the most terrifying part if you could actually feel it happening and see it. It's like witnessing what everybody else is always scared of.
Yeah, that was it. It was to me the scariest thing. I didn't know what the heck was going on, and I couldn't stop it. But thankfully, today is much better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. I've had those, Jeff.
Okay, you got icebreaker?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't think of that today, but one will come up. Pulled up this.
How's everybody doing today? Let me ask that. How's everybody doing today?
All right, go ahead.
Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. I am not complaining, but I'm just like staying lifted. I do not want to feel this. Okay. I don't want to feel the next week. So I'm probably going to be off camera. I'll be quiet in the corner. But I'm doing okay. I think that was a little seizure yesterday, Pookie. I have to thank you guys for being there for me, but wow. I felt that one coming, and then I was numb. It was weird. But yeah, I've had those, Jeff. And I know I had one during an EMU and they said it was a complex partial. And I was
Okay.
fully aware. And I had a panic attack after because it freaked me the out. Okay. So yeah, I know that I'm prone to panic attacks when I lose control. And when I'm aware that I'm losing control of my body, forget it. I'm going to have a panic attack, you know? So I get it. They're scary. But, watch for like, any kind of heaviness, because that could be the clonic part, because you can go completely atonic after one of those complex partial or tonic, where you just go rigid, and then you can go instantly atonic, where all of your muscles turn off. So, just, and it could take a little while, so just be really careful with those. But yeah, I've had those bite me in the ass a few times. I can't, it's like, oh man, that really sucked. I'll sit here 15 minutes, you know me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I'll get up, start moving around. And then it's like, ka-thunk. Oh yeah, I guess I wasn't ready to get up, and then it's just I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I can feel it, and I hate that part. But yeah, oh, but doing okay. It's a beautiful day. I really, really, really want to mow the lawn. So pray for rain. So I can't. Oh, and I just got a message from my doctor.
All right, and that's
Oh,
telling you something right there, Anne. Please take care of yourself so you don't set yourself back. After all the
oh,
work you've done,
shoot,
let
I
this be an
know.
accomplishment.
Oh, I know.
Do
It's
Andrea,
not
like,
I
mow
see
the
we have a
lawn.
new visitor today.
oh, hey.
Yes, welcome to In Season Podcast. And we usually start with an icebreaker. As you can tell, I didn't quite have that together this morning, but we've got one here of what's the funniest thing you've ever done during a seizure? And I think with me, the one thing that always comes to mind is the detergent. I put the laundry soap in the refrigerator. Another post over here is to tell or not to tell. Ever since getting my dream job, I've told anyone that I work with that I have epilepsy. Or no, I have not told anyone at work that I have epilepsy. This is going to be almost 4 years now. I feel confident enough because of my medication, how long it's been seizure free. That's 5 years. But after joining this sub and learning more about the disease and others' experiences, it has made me feel better and worse at the same time. I have a group of colleagues I work with every day, and at lunch we talk like best friends and share everything. I want to share, but then I don't want anyone looking at me different or worrying about me. This is why I've never told anyone in a similar position have feedback. I would still hold off, especially if they've been seizure free for that long. What do you guys
Can
think?
you hear? Can you hear traffic behind me?
Not at all.
Good. Well, that one with not telling people, you don't have to tell them when you're trying to get the job, but I tell them once I get the job, just for my safety. I don't want to get hurt and not let them know, and then they're like, "Oh, we didn't know this is what's happening." I was a cashier, and they knew, so they knew exactly who to call. They knew what was going on. They didn't know how to handle it, but they knew what was going on, so that helps. Otherwise, they probably would have been standing around looking at me, waiting for me to come back and all that stuff. You gotta let them know. Let them know once you get the job. I'm not saying you're hiding it to get the job because the law says you don't have to throw that out there anymore. I think that's better than. But for your own safety, do that.
Andrea, is that you? I thought I heard somebody else agree. Hold on. But yeah, I guess that does make more sense, especially if you're getting a job that does involve climbing ladders or anything dangerous, where it is definitely better if they know. What are you saying, Rick?
I would definitely tell because, think of it this way. If you were a former cancer, or if you are a cancer survivor, why would you hold back on that? Same thing with having epilepsy. So there's no shame or anything involved with that. And what happens if something happens? You want to make sure people know. that, okay, this person's not just freaking out, or this person's not just having an anxiety attack or drug overdose or something. This is what's happening, and they'll know how to react, or they'll know, okay, this has happened before to this person. Let's react and, get the medical help. So I would definitely say, tell.
I suggest getting a bracelet, get you a medical bracelet, and then, yeah, let them know once you get the job. Don't go too long without them knowing and put yourself in a bad position to get hurt or yeah, or worse.
And one of the comments here makes a good point. They're saying mental illness is looked down upon because it can't be seen. So only after being absolutely certain, confide in the people around you. Otherwise, don't. A lot of people still see epilepsy as a mental illness. And that's when it sounds like people have run into issues about letting management know sensitivities caused by their medications. And that's when they feel like they definitely get looked at differently. So yeah, that's part of the mission here, I guess, is to remind people that epilepsy is not a mental illness. It's definitely not the same thing as depression. Not all by itself, anyway. What do you think, Jeff?
As a former owner of a business and manager of other businesses, I would recommend not telling them until after you get the job. I think Pookie's right. There is a prejudice against people with disabilities. And as management, you need a team you can count on. And just because you have epilepsy doesn't mean you can't be counted on. But in the average person's mind, they don't understand that. And if they have a choice between a person with epilepsy and an equally qualified person without epilepsy, they're going to choose the person without 98% of the time. So I just think Pookie's right. You don't tell until after you get the job. After you get the job, you have to tell. You can't keep it a secret after that. For that very reason, because you need to be safe. They need to know what to do if that happens.
Yeah, that makes sense. That sounds like
Yeah.
definitely the best way to handle it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and Rick agrees with that point too, to tell after you get the job. Somebody else here is saying, anyone ever had benzos not work? They're freaking out. Yesterday I had a focal seizure at 6 p.m., so I took half a tab of clonazepam. Then at 8 p.m. had another, so I took another half. At 10, I had another focal seizure and went to bed terrified. An entire Klonopin and my brain doesn't care. How do my rescue meds not work? And anyone else have this happen? That just screams medication resistance to me.
Yep, I
After a while,
replied to
yeah.
that. Yeah, I replied to that one because I didn't know. And it was a conversation a couple of months ago, and this is why my current epileptologist said, "Okay, we need to use these differently," because I get what's called a benzo boomerang, or rebound, where once you reach the half life in that benzo and the levels start to drop, you can have another seizure. And it's really common with drug resistant epilepsy. So let's say my daughter has to use the Nasolam. I have to have like at least a diazepam, a couple hours later, so I don't get that rebound. And I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Or, I don't know if this medication is working right. And he said, oh boy, you are resistant. So yeah, another confirmation. You're right. But yeah, I responded to that. You kind of have to work on what works for you. But once we discovered that I was having that happen, super, super careful with the benzos. So yeah, kind of sucks.
So the Nasalem, how does Nasalem compare working differently to benzo? So far that rescue has been reliable, but I haven't even had to use it like a handful of times.
Yeah, well, when they had me taking diphenhydramine for sleep, and I went and did it, just cause, the doctor said. We used 6 doses of Nasalam in a month, and that's when we discovered what was happening. And I'm like, don't give it to me. I'm going to have another seizure. And that's when I'm like, wait a minute, I have to call this guy. So, the doctor explained it to me, and there's other people that have it happen. And you kind of have to have another lower dose, less potent benzodiazepine to cover you after that half life. And I honestly, I think for Nasalam, I think that's got a longer half life, like 16 hours. I'm not sure, but
Oh,
I know
Nasalem might have a longer last life or longer half-life than a pill.
yeah, I think it does.
Oh wow. I thought
I'm
since it
not,
worked faster, it must be, you know,
oh yeah.
filtered out faster too, but yeah,
No,
that makes sense.
yeah, I think it does. I'll have to look again, but that was one of the features of that being one of the new treatments. But
Right.
yeah, but I need a treatment after that emergency treatment. And it was the weirdest thing. And it's like, yep, same thing that happened in that EMU stay. I had a seizure that they had to give me the 2 doses of lorazepam, and then I had a rebound seizure. They had to give me another dose of lorazepam, and they couldn't give me any more, so they had to give me ketamine because they couldn't stop the second seizure. And it's like, and you said this was psychogenic. Yeah. And that was the same EEG they used to say I was psychogenic. So I'll never understand that. But yeah, I did not know that that existed. And some doctors my doctor calls it the benzo boomerang with those powerful benzodiazepines. But yeah, lots of fun.
Well, the most intimidating part is just how quickly you form a dependence on those. I mean, what stood out on that last post was how they took the entire pill within 5 hours, and who knows if they might not feel some kind of withdrawal if that ends up happening more than once in a week.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's that too. Oh, yeah. There's that too. I don't know if you guys have ever had to get a nose shot twice in 1 week, and it literally feels like I need rehab. Okay. I am not kidding. And I had my doctor laughing because I said that. I'm like, dude, I feel like I'm going through a withdrawal and I need rehab. I don't like this stuff. And yeah. But yeah, I that stuff is so powerful. I think we take it for granted just how powerful it is. And some of us don't tolerate it. And then you build a tolerance. It's a tricky, I think it's just for rescue meds. I don't want to take it every day. Any benzo. So,
And I think we were talking about this yesterday. I'm not sure if Kate was here. We were like, you asked me, why'd she drop off the dog? This is a regular occurrence, you
oh,
know?
here we are again today.
Yeah.
No
When
leash
you see him passing you up, I'm on my way home. Take the dog.
and just scoots him out of the car. Dude,
Open the door.
we all got to come and talk. Yeah, we gotta sit down and have a family conversation. Okay.
I was on with Ann yesterday, and we were talking about this because just pass by and just give me the dog. Can't say it's not a regular occurrence these days.
Jeez. Well,
That's
at
Come
least he
pretty
on,
didn't get
abrupt.
away. He didn't get away
I'm
today,
almost
did he?
home though.
Okay.
He's going now. He's almost away. He doesn't have a leash. Just get out the car. Go with him. Hey. Hopefully he follows. All right.
Do treats do anything for you? Puppy learns how to recognize when you got treats. That's how this one comes back. So yeah, somebody else is saying, does anyone have a seizure and is suddenly good at math? Strange question, but I had a seizure and I suddenly remember very vividly all my math classes like they happened yesterday. I took a practice test in algebra, scored 90% when I've always been terrible. Like F's terrible. But looking back, I would try and listen to the class and my brain would start feeling static, like I would get sick. And if I tried to push past it to understand the lesson, it would feel like my brain and ears were buzzing. It's so weird. I remember exactly what my teacher was saying each lesson, only now it's like I have to push through the static just to have the whole memory. No wonder people think we are insane. If not, I'm not sure if it matters, but I had a TIA before my seizures became daily. Yeah, daily seizures. I would never be able to retain any information like that. I don't know where they're getting coming off saying that they had a seizure and then got good at math, though. I think they're just surprised that they scored a high, they got a 90%. But I know that's happened before where if I have seizure, a bad week basically, then I don't remember stuff that I know I used to be able to do. Then when I get back to normal, I kind of get those skills back. But yeah, it's definitely hard to remember stuff that you know how to do just when you've been having a lot of seizures. You guys have never had like new skills after a seizure, right?
Yeah. So I don't think it was a new skill exactly I had, but filling out the paperwork and I had a seizure, and I hate filling out paperwork. Absolutely. My handwriting has got worse since I got out of school because I haven't used it really in like 15 years. I barely write stuff with a pen. So doing that, I was just doing it and doing it. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is getting tiring. Then I had a seizure. I came back after the seizure. I filled out the paperwork. My handwriting was nice, my mom said. And I was just focused after that. That's what it was. I was focused because I was trying to hurry up and get home. So I was just like, let me focus and do this and get it out of the way. My mom was like, your handwriting wasn't that bad. And she was like, you did that kind of fast. And I was like, oh, okay. So, I mean, I didn't necessarily learn a skill or math or anything, but it kind of just gave me the focus that hurry up and get home. This is what we have to do to leave here. A few times. You're on mute.
Okay, good.
Um,
Yeah, sorry about that. All right, so this one is saying, have you accepted that you have epilepsy? Hi, I've been epileptic for 7 years, and I'm asking myself this question. Have you accepted your illness? For my part, I feel like I still haven't accepted it. It destroyed my life when I was only 15 years old. I was training for my future career as a firefighter. I was halfway through the process when they told me, no, you can't do that job anymore, or anything else that's related to the military. In short, every time I wanted to move forward in my life, I'm blocked because, oh no, I can't, I'm epileptic. I always get anxious because of it. I've withdrawn so much that now I'm totally alone and isolated. I can't make friends. Girlfriend left me. I really still want to join the army, but it's apparently not possible. And I can't accept that. And the fact that I can't go to concerts, play video games like I used to, or have a normal life. I've only had one crisis, and since then I haven't been able to see the future. Have you accepted? Okay, so this one, it might be harder to accept just because it's nowhere near managed yet. But there
Okay.
are, yeah, this one sounds overwhelming.
Okay, yeah. So about that, I've got past it, but with the person saying like, oh Lord, I forgot what they said. Oh, but they said they can't do certain things like video games and concerts and stuff. Um, you got to take precautions when you do things. Um, a lot of things I do, I take the risk to see if I can do it once, which can be messed up. But I went to the weekend concert and I was like, okay, made it through the night, had my bracelet on, told the person that was sitting next to me. She was like, all right. And yeah, so yeah, just got to take precautions when you do things, but don't stop yourself from doing things because you think this might happen. I mean, yeah, that does sound bad. If you feel like a seizure is going to happen, don't do it. But don't hold yourself back thinking this might happen, because you never know. You might be able to make it through the concert. You might be able to play video games for however long you like or able to, I guess.
No, for
Comments?
sure. Definitely don't let it hold you back. This one person said you weren't allowed to work as a nurse, so maybe they're not completely stuck not, working, not joining the military, because it sounds like that might have been the worst part of this. And the poster said, everyone asked this. No, I'm not allowed because of insurance reasons. So a lot of people are just having trouble coming up with a better career, a career they wanted. This person says, I've had epilepsy for 37 years now and I've accepted it. I don't let it control me on everything. Driving, doing something that can injure others, stupid flashing lights, working certain jobs, and I'm sure some other things, the seizures win. If I can do it and it doesn't put anyone at risk for going out and having fun or just leaving the house, then count me in. You can still play video games, just have the lights on. Some games are too flashy, even with the lights on. And that one got a lot of agreement. Yeah, this one is the same kind of acceptance. You do what you can in life, and that's all we can hope for. And these are the people that are saying they've had epilepsy for like 30 plus years. Yeah, it definitely doesn't have to slow you down. You just can't do everything.
Yeah, I got it in my
That's a
teens
shame
too.
about the career.
I got it at 16, so after that, I just kind of knew what was coming. Yeah, they were telling me all the stuff I shouldn't do. Got a high school job, doing healthcare, working at a summer program with kids, having seizures on the job. Didn't work. Next summer, I tried it again. I worked for like 3 months without having one, which was basically the whole summer program. But it's like the last 3 days and I had one. And they were like, "We tried this last year with you." So next year I couldn't do it. But yeah, that's when I knew this isn't going to work for me. I really like to work. And then I got my seizures together within the next 10 to 15. And I started working. And then I started getting hurt more. And then my family told me I have to retire. Well, actually, I have to quit. Or resign was the word they said. So yeah.
Yeah, family does have a lot to do with not letting you ignore it any longer. That was the same in my situation. This one is a little more encouraging, saying they were diagnosed at 12. It was hard to watch my siblings get to drive before me, play video games, and do anything with lights that I was prohibited from. I wasn't even allowed to have baths anymore. But you eventually settle into your new normal. You need to find the right cocktail of medication to keep you seizure free, learn your triggers, and respect things that lower your threshold. Is it always easy? No, but it becomes second nature. It gets better, I promise. You're still young. You will find your calling. I'm married with a career and children, living my dream life. Don't let it define you, and it won't. That was a good answer. And makes the point too that you may not make money, but patient advocacy is a great alternative to being a nurse. That does still seem like a really satisfying thing to do.
Yeah, I didn't type that quite properly, but yeah, I've been talking to some professional patient advocates. It's literally become a growing profession because of the condition of our healthcare system. And a couple of them are nurses who were diagnosed either with MS or IBS because they can't work every day, or at one of the ladies has epilepsy, and you go to school, take the classes you need. But the best part is if you already have a nursing background, that makes it even better because you understand, both sides of the advocacy. And and that's what I was saying. If I knew that years ago, I would have gone back to school, but I couldn't. And I would have gone to school for exactly that. Now that I know it's an actual profession, it's like I'm going to start telling people there really are things out there, and I'll find the links to back that up. But we know that our community needs people like that. Even if you were just going to nursing school or, halfway through pre-med, we need you. And if you can get through this certification, then you can be a patient advocate for us. Come on, we all need you. So yeah, there's got to be something. I'm constantly saying I got to find a way to make money. And I'm throwing plants out because I don't know what to do with them. Duh. But the whole idea that this this is my favorite thing next to what I thought my fantasy nursing career would have been. But I think this is even better. But for people with medical backgrounds that end up getting diagnosed and can't work, I think patient advocacy is an excellent option. But that's my perspective.
And that's never a paid profession?
Yeah, it is. It
Oh,
is.
okay. So patient advocates can be on payroll.
My case manager gets paid. She's on a salary, but she has to maintain a certain number of cases. But she is a professional patient advocate. And I did not know that. And she sat and watched me advocate for myself, taking notes, and we talk now about what got you here, because she's known me for a couple of years. So it's like, yeah, what got me here? Um, therapy, 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 a little more therapy, and some wonderful people that I met online. Okay. So they'll never know. Yeah, wonderful family. But I did not know that it is a paid um, position. And it just, for medical professionals, it just requires, I think, a 20-hour class and certification. You can almost do it as a continuing ed that you have to do every year anyway, you know? So yeah, that's what I do. I wish I got paid for it. Hi, Brandon.
Hi,
Either way,
Brandon.
I'm sure everybody you've helped has definitely benefited. Right,
Rick,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I didn't see it. It went away before I seen it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, once it's under control, it's easier to accept and then work on, what I was able to do and can't do. So like for this person, I feel bad that their career is kind of sidelined, but they should be able to, once things are under control, I think it'll be easier. They'll be able to see what they can work towards, even though, okay, military is out, maybe there's some other things within the military or something else that they can do once they get everything under control.
I'm not sure what the original question was, but I once got asked by a National Guard recruiter if I wanted to join, and I just went, I have a head tattoo. I can't, you guys wouldn't allow me anyway. And he just laughed and went, okay.
Yeah, mine was basically, I explained mine. Oh, but the other part I was going to explain, it just came back to me. And then I lost it again. Lord, I don't know what happens. Oh, me getting hurt at jobs. Yeah, like I said, my family made me quit my last job. The other jobs, they weren't aware when I was getting hurt. Like when I fell in the fryer at Krispy Kreme, they weren't aware of what happened. I think someone seen it on Snapchat because I posted a video on Snapchat, and then someone told my sister, and my sister told my mom, but there was never a conversation about it. I think she texted me and asked me like what happened, and I was like, I'm okay. It didn't there, but yeah, I lived with my dad, and there was hours where I would get off at like 12 at night, and he would be gone to work at 6 in the morning. So we lived together, but we barely seen each other. Nobody really knew injuries. Until I moved with my stepmom, and I worked at a warehouse, and I had to get stitches inside of my gums on the inside. When she seen that, she wrote a letter, and she gave me an envelope. I took it to my job. When I was getting ready to put it in my locker, I was like, oh yeah, she said, give this to my boss. And I took it out and I read it. It was a letter of resignation. She gave me a letter to resign that I did not know it was a resignation letter until I was handing it to my boss. So that's how I resigned. It was not by choice at all. Didn't even know. Hi, I'm 22 years old, male, and I believe I may have 2 seizures a month this month, though I am unsure, so I will post experiences, and I hope someone has advice. Though I believe I should go get checked out. I don't know how to proceed, or even if I should. Any help would be appreciated. Is any of the side effects of the medication burping? Or is it just me drinking a lot?
That's what
Okay.
happens after a good meal and a walk.
My girlfriend laughs at me all the time because I start burping and I'm like, sorry, a little burpy.
Yeah. Also the hiccup. So it's like in between a hiccup and a burp. It's all
Fucking hiccups, man. Oh, I think that actually is just because we take meds. So like when we're taking the pill, I think we're getting in a little bit more oxygen in it.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a bad thing. It's not hurting us. It's just like
I'm hiccup all day for some reason. All the time. Mouth
I
gets
get the
dry.
hiccups so fucking much now. I don't know why.
Okay, let me get back to this. Hiccups, they hurt sometimes.
Well, loved ones will never hate on you for hiccups. Trust me, it's just funny.
They'll just go, "Can you stop, please?" And I'm like, "No, I can't."
Yeah, no bit. But yeah, they're trying to figure out if this was a seizure. It says first incident, August 7th, was to cleaning house when sleep deprived, when I got very heavy brain fog paired with restlessness, odd stomach feeling, like I was hungry and thirsty, but no want or desire to eat or drink, and inability to focus. This lasted about half an hour with heavy pacing and looking around, not really knowing what I was looking for. Then I got extremely lethargic and sat down on the living room couch. When I rest my head against the armrest, I felt limp and enter a state I didn't move, with an abstract feeling that I could move if I wanted to, but I just didn't. Accompanied by now odd acceptance of lack of any emotions. This lasted for about 5 to 10 minutes before I started feeling like I should move again. Finally, just felt strung out like a psychedelic came down. Second, August 23rd, hard chipped my front tooth earlier in the day and was in moderate pain, had to take marijuana to help with pain. First, felt suddenly restless again with some side effects early as last time, ending with me sitting on the bathroom floor, head placed against the wall. As I sit down, I start feeling more and more lethargic. Was petting my cat when I just laid my hand on the floor. That was when I felt the same feeling of not wanting to move at all. My head was sliding down the wall to lay on the edge of the still open door. My cat then started to get distressed, meowing and pawing at my legs and face. When she clawed my legs, I could move again.
moved my leg out of the way and started to come back a little bit. Though my head was still resting limp on the door, when she started to claw my face, it was like I was pulled out of that state, though still very foggy. Afterwards, felt same come down effect. Kind of sounds like a seizure. I can't exactly put my finger on it, but that does kind of
The
sound like
second
you
one,
should see a doctor.
the second one definitely did. The first sounded more anxiety attack ish, I think. But the second one definitely sounded more seizure-ish.
Yeah. Then
Yeah, so anything
marijuana works
where
for
they
pain.
remember more of how it went, that does kind of strike me as more anxiety attack. That's the thing that always kind of is a bookmark of a seizure for me. I remember what I was doing up until, and then I'm either in a different room or just remember what was clearly a couple, or at least like 2 or 3 minutes later.
Yeah, the fact that they were able to remember all of it while, like, sort of losing motor functions to that extent makes me think it was more like anxiety or panic as a, but I don't know, that's just me.
Like you said, you think it with them being cautious and all that. We were talking about that earlier before you got here. I've been through that, and Jeff was explaining how he'd been through that. That was what they called a complex partial. Someone told me, but this sounds different. The complex partial that me and Jeff were talking about was we were having a seizure to where you could know you were convulsing and you could feel I felt myself like gritting my teeth and I knew I was just out of control. I knew what was going on around me because I could hear people saying he's having a seizure and pull over and we're driving and stuff. So I was in the
Yeah.
passenger seat having this and we were on the freeway. I remember all that. I could hear it and everything. When it was done is when I passed out. And I didn't really understand that. But I think it was from like hitting my head against the window so much that eventually the pain just put me out because I was like crying and tearing, but I couldn't do anything. It's like eyes tearing, tearing.
I've had
Then you
those
just fall
exact
asleep.
same ones before. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Where it doesn't sound like this person was having a complex partial.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it.
Not to say that it wasn't a seizure. I
Yeah.
don't want them to discount what they were going through. It could have been. We are not doctors.
Yeah, I say you go see a doctor. It sounds like possible seizure. So pointing out that you possibly had a seizure and you found out from some people who have seizures. Yeah, one does sound like an anxiety attack, like you said, Brandon. So yeah, you gotta write it all down. Tell a doctor.
So somebody finding out that it's time to go back to the doctor. They're saying I was diagnosed with epilepsy over a year ago, absent seizures. I currently take Depakote 500 milligrams twice a day. I've been feeling something different. When I have a crisis, I simply lose control of my body or head and fall. I've had strong tremors and sometimes my migraine attacks when I have this attack. I went to the neurologist. He told me it's still an absent seizure because you rarely have more than one type of seizure. But would an absent seizure make me fall so abruptly? I'm finding it strange, and even when medicated, I'll have these crises. I'll see what the neurologist says at my next appointment. This is one that screams see a different doctor. For a doctor to look at you when you're having a completely different set of symptoms and say you still have absent seizures because people rarely have more than one kind of seizure. That's somebody not asking the right questions.
Yeah.
At that point, you really need to start looking for a second opinion. Yeah.
If second doesn't work, get a third. Sometimes I do best of three. So yeah.
Hey, go with a fourth if you need to. Fuck it, right?
I mean, get anything that who will explain anybody who will explain it to you that you can understand. One of the comments is saying, I once had a migraine attack so wild and painful that it triggered a focal. I can tell the difference between a migraine aura and focal auras. I encountered the migraine aura first. The migraine pain came on like someone hit me with a truck, and 5 minutes into it, if I had the epileptic aura, my husband said I turned delirious. I was confused and rolling around, telling him over and over again, I think I'm dying. I remember thinking that, but not saying it out loud. I honestly don't remember him in the room. I was dry heaving and suffocating because the heaving just kept going. I don't remember that at all. The focal felt different, and according to my husband, looked different. And I'm still trying to figure out that it was because of the migraine, or if they were both inevitable because of a shitty previous week. The neuro said because of my migraine, it may have presented differently, but it's still a focal. So even if they tell you it's the same kind of seizure, that doesn't mean it's going to feel the same. Then so you definitely need a doctor who's going to help you understand that.
Yeah, I just want to throw this out there. If their doctor is telling them people rarely have more than one kind of seizure, I would definitely, like you guys are saying, yeah, that does scream, get a second opinion, because they're not an epilepsy specialist for sure, because it is not uncommon for us to have different types of seizures.
That sounds like they went to their like PCP.
I know, that's exactly, I'm like, wow.
If you went
Wow.
to an actual neurologist, they would be like, no. There are multiple types. Don't worry, we got you. They may not understand them as well as an actual epileptologist, but a neurologist will understand more than me. That's goddamn sure.
And a good neurologist will know their limits and say, I want you to see an epileptologist. So, but yeah, it sounds so primary, just saying.
That one's rough, but I got another one. If that one's done, or you got some more comments from that? All right.
Oh,
that one
actually,
is-
wait, Pookie, before you move on, was there an icebreaker? Did I?
we didn't have one when we started, but I believe Kate found one.
I threw it out there just to bring up what was the funniest thing you did during a seizure.
Oh, I didn't get that one. I think I was eating. Yeah, we started and I was at Taco Tuesday. You weren't there, Brandon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then I was walking down the street and I found this dog and I brought him home. It was actually my dog.
I love
My
that.
sister pulled up and she was like, "Hey, take the dog home." It's like, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
I don't
really
think I even got an answer for the silliest thing you did during a seizure out of anybody else. I just brought up that thing about the detergent in the fridge again.
Okay, the
I can
silliest
be.
thing I've done.
Oh no, I've got to go first, Pokey, because you know my answer, and it's when, and I really wish that I'd gotten a picture, of, or my girlfriend had gotten a picture of me wearing one of her nighty dresses, with full dick out. Oh yeah, I really wish that she'd gotten a picture of that because I can only imagine, and I'm sure it's hilarious.
Was it a pink nightgown?
uh Sort of like a beige, like a light beige.
Was it like lace, like the see-through lingerie type? You can see
No,
your body through it. No,
no.
That would have been hilarious. But
I would have been
yeah.
impressed if it was anything except for spaghetti straps, something that needed to be tied up or, go for the halter top. Yeah, that would have been impressive. Anything zipped? Yeah.
If I was
Yeah,
able to do that, like, while popsicle, like, come on, you got to give me some credit there.
I'm gonna guess
Yeah.
it doesn't matter because it wouldn't have been long enough to cover anything.
I did not say my funny thing. When I look back at it, the situations where I was telling you guys to kind of wander off, it's just the slightest bit of funny. I can laugh at it now. Very dangerous at the time, walking into people's homes. But I was thinking about it yesterday, and I was like, it's kind of a funny thing to look back on for myself and laugh at, Like, it happened, and haha, this happened. Not that it was a good thing, but yeah. I laughed at myself about it yesterday. It's like, yeah, I put myself in a very bad position. But yes, I haven't been wandering off lately, so that's been good. And then Brandon shows off the record player.
Sorry, Rick's here, so I had to bring it back around, but I wasn't trying to make it a huge thing. Yeah.
This one
Uh,
says,
Rick, or I was giving Pookie some shit about his record player yesterday because it's a whole different conversation. Pookie, get back.
yeah.
Nice.
It says, driving family after seizure. I need to know if I'm being unreasonable. I'm losing my mind. My spouse has tonic-clonic seizure a year ago. Then MRIs found out that he has MS. What MS is, but we'll go over that at the beginning. So he wasn't medicated. 11 months later, he had an even worse tonic-clonic seizure. Come to find out that all those spacing out of body feelings he had been feeling in the past are actually focal seizures and auras. Anyways, so we started MS meds, and after that second seizure, he's on anti-seizure meds also. We have a young child, and I'm a stay-at-home wife, so my job is to take care of the home and drive to school, practice, etc. In our state, you can drive after 6 months, so he's extremely adamant that he can drive us after the time comes. But I don't see it at the right thing. I don't see it at the right thing to do. Even though he is on his meds, breakthrough seizures are possible. Indeed. I think that we are together. We are in this together, and it makes sense for me to drive. In an emergency, he can drive us. He will work from home mostly, and then take small roads to work. Now we're arguing because he says I am living in fear and he will drive us normally. I think he is being irresponsible. I'm not trying to take away his freedom or independence. I just want that when it's a family outing, I drive just to mitigate the risk. First comment. No, I'll get your opinions first. That's a long first comment. How do you guys feel about this guy telling his wife, I'm going to drive, regardless of what you think? Kids and everything. That's what it sounds like. He's just kind of careless. It's like, hey, they said I can get a license.
Yeah, that thing about mitigate the risk, I don't see how you can, rationalize that the risk would ever be worth it.
Accident hurts herself. Like she said, she would like to go on family trips with her driving. This can hurt the kid.
Well,
I
okay.
can't drive, so I don't have much to really offer here. Sorry.
So I'm in the same, I'm kind of in the same boat where legally in 6 months I was able to start driving, but I don't feel like I'm ready to. My family really wants me to because I was always the main driver, and I'm like, you know what? If I'm dizzy sitting in the car riding, I don't think I should be driving. And I spoke to my neurologist when I saw him a couple weeks ago, and he said, well, with the change of medicine, let's extend it another 3 months. So instead of starting to drive next week, I'm going to start driving in December. And I'll see how I feel. If I feel like I can, I might, but I might hold off. Probably most likely going to hold off a little bit because I really want to be sure. I'm fortunate that my car kind of knows, well, not kind of. My car has settings on it where if I veer out of the lane, it'll put me back in the lane. And if I'm not holding the wheel, it'll beep and then pull over. And also does emergency braking. So I have that as an extra, but I'm still not, see how you feel. If you're medicated, you go a certain amount of time, try it here and there, but I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to start driving on this date because I can. I don't think that's right.
I want to let Jeff go, but Rick, I would love for you to clarify after Jeff goes about those features on your car, because I haven't heard about these. So
Okay.
Yeah, I want Jeff to go first. Yeah, but if you could come back around
I
after.
want Rick to clarify first.
Okay. So my car has cameras and sensors on them, and newer cars have even more features on it than this one does. So what it does is it monitors the yellow line and the white line. and you're staying centered in it. And also it monitors if I'm holding the wheel or I'm not holding the wheel. Also monitors how close I am to the car in front of me. So I could actually lift my hands from the wheel, and if there's a curve up ahead, it'll turn for me and it'll start giving me an alert. Put your hands on the wheel, put your hands on the wheel. If I don't
What-
within a certain amount of, oh, sorry.
What car is this?
This is this is a Ford Escape.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, keep going.
It's a
So
self-driver, right?
it's not self-driving, it's more of it's protection. So like if there's a curve coming up and I take my hands off the wheel, it'll turn and keep on the curve, but it starts beeping and gives me an alert and shakes the wheel. If I don't grab the wheel at a certain amount of time, it'll stop the car, and if it's able to, it'll pull over. Newer cars, so I work for a company that makes sensors and stuff for cars, and they showcased the Volkswagen where somebody passed out and the car's, are you okay? And it didn't get a response, and there's traffic, so it slowed itself down, put its blinker on and pulled over, which is more than most drivers do anyway. Put the blinker on and actually pulled over, and then called 911 for the person.
Those are great features. They
That's
really are.
really amazing to hear that, like, so those features are available in cars that aren't fully self-driving, but
Yes.
we're now getting to the point where fully self-driving cars are getting better and will have those features that are clearly working,
Yeah, so like
Yeah,
with
now
my
it seems
car,
like with all the, go ahead.
I'm sorry, so like with my car, I've also had it too where even when I am paying attention, a little coffee cup will come up and let me know it's time to rest because I've been driving for a while. And also, if let's say somebody starts turning in front of me and I see they're starting to go, it'll give me a warning and start slowing the car down. I'm like, hey, I got this. I see the car's going, but I'm sorry, go ahead, Kate.
No, it's the same thing. I mean, where in the Jeep, I see the driver has to have, hands on the wheel, but even when it comes down to it, backing into a spot, the car will stop. Like she wanted to get closer to the curb, not to stick out in this little narrow
Yeah.
parking lot, and the car stopped her. It wouldn't let her get any closer to the curb, and those kinds of safety features do take over at the right time. I still have yet to see like the self pullover thing. I don't know if the Jeep even does that, but that seems like the closest to saving a life. Apparently like the watch will talk to you saying, "Are you okay?" and then call your list of emergency contacts. Cars can do it now too.
I seen the parallel park. That was amazing to watch that car parallel park by itself. That was insane to watch. I was like, there is almost not enough space. I was like, a person couldn't do that. But that car did that by itself, and it blew my mind. I was just like, we're gonna hit something. I was like, you couldn't fit in there. And he was like, watch.
The first time that I ever saw that, I was like, oh my God, we've made it. This is peak like car technology. We have made it. But then, I mean, now you've got all the stuff that, Rick was talking about. I thought like my girlfriend's like backup camera, because she has a fairly new Ford Bronco. And her backup camera has like sort of like AI lines to show like where to aim her car when she's backing up and stuff. And then I was like, oh my God, cars can do this now? What?
Another thing was I seen one guy in a Tesla on the freeway, and he was like eating a sandwich, and I'm with a friend. He's like eating a sandwich, like big sub, hands off the wheel, and just like looking over and smiling and stuff. And then my cousin goes, "My car can do that," and we're in a Mercedes Benz, but he's like, "You can't eat." He says, "They still make sure you're paying attention." So you can't be like this and be on your phone and stuff. It's drive and assist, I think it says.
and it just makes sure to stay in the same lane at the same speed and don't hit anybody. But
Some people were hacking the Tesla, like the TV screen, basically, that they have, so that they could watch Netflix and stuff while driving, where normally it's like it turns it off while driving. But no, people were hacking it so that you could use the Netflix or whatever and have the auto or the self-driving feature on at the same time. So they were just fully not paying attention while driving whatsoever.
yeah, my cousin, he showed me that the autopilot feature basically, and it's cool, but you can't like lean over. The Mercedes, it's really careful. You can't do too much. The Tesla, you're putting yourself in a position to where if you do have to take over, you don't have time.
They're trusting Daddy Musk at that point, and they deserve whatever happens. I'm sorry to say it, they deserve whatever happens.
Yeah, one of the problems that Tesla did was that they kept advertising it as full self-driving. It's not. I don't remember if there's 3 levels. I think Tesla's like a 2.2, which is more than any other car company, but still it's not full self-driving. And that, I know they got sued quite a bit for advertising it that way. So that's we're not at full self-driving yet, but we're getting close.
Yeah, it'll stay in the same lane and basically autopilot, like go the same speed you put it at. That'll do it. It'll slow down before it hits anybody. But yeah, like I said, the Mercedes, it makes sure you're paying attention just in case the time comes and you need it. It's there. And like I said, you look over or you lean too much or you're in the back seat digging for something, it's going to tell you, it's going to start dinging and telling you, look at the wheel and look at the road. I think that's safer than the option that the Tesla provides. Just you can do whatever, put your hands off the wheel and it'll turn and all that stuff for you.
If any of you watch the show Upload on Amazon, it's like set like in the future, like slightly, but the whole show is based on like being able to upload your consciousness when you die. That's not the point. But they have the main character dies because his like automatic driving car that everyone uses got hacked and he crashed and died. And it's like, okay, but the ones that they were using, that's what we're gonna be getting to, where it's literally a pod that you just speak to and it just takes you. That's what we're getting to. We're gonna get there.
Was this, we were on the same question that I asked earlier, right? About the guy driving his family and all that?
Yeah,
Or
we
did you
haven't
move
moved
on?
up. Yeah, no, we're still talking about driving.
Okay, I was going to go through the comments on this one. The first one says, it was the same way with my seizures. I thought I was indestructible. In fairness, I didn't know they were seizures at the time, but I blacked out while I was at the wheel, 55 miles per hour, and slammed into the back of a van. I hurt my wife and my daughter. I also hurt the van driver. It cost me my insurance money in the upwards range of $100,000. I had my license suspended for good cause. It is not worth the risk. I could have easily killed someone, including my family. I do not drive anymore. Remind him that driving privileges can be restored after 6 months being seizure free, not 6 months after the accident. That means he needs 6 months after the last seizure if he drives without having those 6 months and an accident occurs. He could be charged with many other felonies. If he kills someone, vehicular manslaughter could be the result. It simply isn't worth it. And then the original poster says, I'm sorry that happened to you and your family and the other driver. He has no issue waiting for 6 months to drive. He has the issue that I've asked him to not drive our child or me. If we go out, I drive. I'm upset that he's not putting at least our child and adding at least putting our child first and adding the risk to her life. Yeah. He's
This
rough.
dude can go fuck.
Yeah. So the next comment says, I haven't had a tonic clonic in 8 years, but I still have partials. The state gave me back my license after a year, but I didn't drive at all for 3, and I still limit myself to driving during the day. Only myself and stay with 10 miles of home. If another driver is available, there is no reason for me to risk hurting myself, a loved one, someone else's loved one, or even a treasure pet. If he wants to place himself in danger, that's his choice. But you are absolutely justified in not wanting yourself or your child to be a passenger when it is unnecessary. Tell him his macho ego isn't worth lives, or walk away. Don't suggest someone to walk away because they might be married, but I don't suggest walking away because you could talk about it. You're married.
Just walk away.
Walk away.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed though, but I'm coming across on the more people we talk to, it seems like men do have a harder time, especially the ones that are used to being, the providers, the breadwinners, the ones that always did all the driving. Like they seems like men have a harder time kind of letting that part go,
That is a huge
or are quicker to try to
point.
go back.
That is a huge point. And I think that just comes down to innate, like, male personality, and what we're taught. Like, we're meant to be the provider. We're meant to be the one who, like, drives places, and like our partner is, the passenger princess or whatever. When you get something so you can't drive, you don't want to lose that feeling of, like, I can still do it, but you have to consider other people's safety and your own safety. You can't just be like, no, I can do it, and then you kill your wife and your daughter. Like, what?
Yeah. So, firstly, passenger princess. I am a passenger princess. As you know, I have epilepsy. So I was highly offended when you said that because I don't have an option and it's kind of fun.
Dude, like, Lynn and I both, when we went up to Maine this weekend and when we came back from Maine, I fucking slept for like 2 hours, and she was like, thank God, because you are so annoying when we're awake. And like, when you're awake and we're driving, you're always commenting on something. And she's like, I get some peace when you go to sleep. I love the drive. I just hate when you are annoying when I'm driving.
Yeah. Also, that guy, I don't know what's up with that guy, but like I said, I don't suggest walking away. You gotta have a conversation. You don't walk away from marriages without a conversation. Not that I've ever been married, but I would have
Right,
suggested that with
I
my
did
Just say
parents.
not
forget
once it
marriage.
lasts.
I forgot about the marriage part. You are correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's get Rick's opinion on this one. He's probably got the best one.
Well, so my wife, she's really upset that I'm not driving because she loved becoming the passenger princess. She's a little bit older than me, so she spent an extra decade and a half driving people around, driving kids around. She hated driving around New Jersey. Then I come into the picture and she's like, "Oh, he likes to drive? Let's get married." Because she just loved the fact that I drove everywhere. And the day that I got my license, I drove across country and drove into Canada. So I just took off and never stopped until recently. Anyway, so she really loved that, and so this kind of forced her to drive longer distances, to drive more, and see what I deal with on commuting to work and things like that, because she takes me to work. And we also discovered that she really can't drive at night. So we had her eyes fixed. She had a cataract surgery. So this actually helped learn that was going on. So that was a little blessing in disguise there.
I think that's something that a lot of people should look into as they get a little older, like just making sure your eyes are okay. and people forget about it, and then they're like, why can't I see at night? It's like, well, you can have a very simple thing that can be fixed
Yep.
and be fine.
Exactly.
Actually,
It led to so much talk, that one comment.
isn't that great? Been like 30 minutes.
Well, that's
Um,
that's why when you were like, how do these like streams last 10 hours? It's like, that's how. That's how.
Yeah, so I'm gonna move to another comment. It says, this is the exact situation. My husband had a seizure while driving with our 6-month-old, and I in the back seat, and 2-year-old in third row. We almost all died, but we're spared. It's a miracle. I'm still terrified. He won't drive for at least a year, but he's already pressing me about it. I don't think I could ever be comfortable with him driving the kids ever again. But I don't know if I'm irrational or not. What do you think? This is also a comment, someone asking a question. Do you think they're being irrational? He almost killed the whole family. I don't think you're being irrational. I think you need to see a therapist, or he needs to see a therapist, or both of you, or whatever the case.
I'm
Yeah.
100% with you on that, Pokey, but I feel like Kate's the best person to answer this because she act like she has kids that are around that age right now. Like, how do you feel about that?
I always missed being able to drive, but you got to think of it like that. You know, what's worth the risk? And it's definitely never going to be the life of your family. If somebody's that hung up on just not having that ability anymore, then you need to talk it out, discuss exactly why you can still move on from this, adapt to a different kind of normal, and nobody's going to have to miss out just because you can't provide the transportation like before. Nobody has to miss out. It's just going to be probably a more strict schedule. What's up,
And
Jeff?
sorry, Pookie, I didn't mean to imply that you don't also have kids or Annie doesn't also have kids. I just meant the age range where you're still
I
driving.
think everyone but you. Everyone's a parent but you.
These guys that want to drive are totally insane that almost killed their families. There's no justification for that. Absolutely none. And the women should take control of the situation. They have to demand that they don't drive anymore. And they really have to put their foot down because it's not safe and you're risking your life every time you get in the car. And it's not just your life you're risking, it's your family's, and it's another family's life that you're risking. And it's just not worth it.
Hopefully, though, the personality of the male that they're trying to address can be one who is receptive to that sort of feedback because, like, yes, women can say, you're not driving, I'm driving because you have epilepsy, and they can still go, I'm bigger than you, I can say what I want to, sort of thing. So there's always that. You have to make sure that the person that you're speaking to is going to be someone who's receptive to that sort of rhetoric.
Yes, you have to be safe. That's guaranteed. There's no question. You don't want to go into a situation where it could turn violent, but you still have to find a way to take control because you can't let these people drive.
100%. Yeah.
Unless you give them
Totally
all
agree.
Rick's car, then they can go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's why I can get anywhere I want. If I ride my bike and I have a seizure and I crash, I only hurt myself. It's fine.
There you go.
Again. Hurt yourself again, like I said.
Oh,
Well, no, I've had plenty of bike crashes, but none of them have been seizure related.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you told me about the other
they
one.
sell electric scooters everywhere now. We were at Best Buy yesterday and they had a whole section of electric scooters. Those things are everywhere.
Almost got ran over. I was waiting at a crosswalk, waiting to walk through I was waiting at an intersection, waiting to cross to the crosswalk, waiting on the light, and this dude on an e-scooter just floored it right behind me with no like he didn't even like give me a ding or a hey, nothing. I was like, dude, you if I had taken a step back, both of us would be injured right now.
Yeah. When I seen that last post, um, with the lady, I think someone said something during that last comment. And it reminded me of when I was asked to drive and I asked, "Are you sure?" She said, "Yes." And I think during that time, she might have been irritated or something like that. It was my girlfriend at the time, and I forgot what she was irritated at, but she was like, "I don't want to drive. You drive." And I asked her, "Are you sure?" And she said, "Yeah." Um, with her son in the car. And when I crashed, I told her, this is kind of your fault. I told you I did not want to drive, but you were having, I don't want to call a tantrum or whatever the case, but I don't have the biggest backbone, so I didn't argue. I was just like, "You sure? Are you sure?" I asked her, "You sure?" a few times, Christmas Day. So, and yeah, I had just dropped off my daughter. I mean, we had just dropped off my daughter. Then she was like, "You want to drive?" And I was like, kept asking, "Are you sure?" She's like, "Yeah." I drove, and you know the story.
Apparently, I'm just lucky where my girlfriend would never let me drive her Bronco. So no matter how bad of a mood she's in, she would be like, "You are not driving my Bronco, even if you didn't have epilepsy."
So there was that. I just don't like arguing, so that's how that situation happened. And luckily, I didn't hurt anybody or hurt her kid or her. Um, I wasn't actually hurt that much either. Like I said, that time is when the airbag hit me, and that's what kind of brought me back. Instead of like flooring it, the airbag hit me, and I came out of it. And I pulled over, parked, and continued the
I'm
seizure.
I'm curious to know if there's ever been a study about like if you have a seizure while driving, you hit something, airbag comes out, how how relaxed is your body? Because that makes a difference where if you're like all tensed up and the airbag hits you, it causes more damage. But if you're relaxed, it's supposed to cause less damage. So I'm just curious to know, like, I guess it would depend on the seizure itself, like where you're at in the
Yeah.
seizure, what your individual types of seizures are like. You know.
Okay, so there was another situation, and that's where come to find out, I think that's what it is. A certain amount of pain will bring you out of it. Because when I got this scar, putting my arm in the fryer, I had a seizure, and basically I put my arm in and I put my hand flat on the bottom, on the surface, like that. And then I pulled my hand out, and they were like, basically, I had a seizure, and that's when I put my hand in. But I looked at it, and I looked at my fingers burned, and then I fell to the ground and continued another seizure. So that's like the car accident when the airbag brought me back, except this time it was heat from the air fryer. I mean, not the air fryer, but yeah, the fryer. Yeah, that pain brought me back. So I don't know if this is an exact thing with anybody else, but I did hear somebody else. You remember the first time we were here, there was this one guy who said he fights with his brother that brings him back. You remember that, Brandon?
What was the situation? Sorry, I was messaging. I was texting something in the chat.
It was Mo. Remember, he said that when he has a seizure, he asks his brother to fight him. So they punch each other, so they come back. You remember that? Weren't you there, Rick? You remember that?
I don't remember.
It was like so long ago. I totally forgot about it. But holy shit, that was so weird. And I really want Mo back because he was a fucking character. Yeah, him and his brothers would punch each other like when he would start having a seizure and it would bring him back somehow. It was so funny of a weird story, I guess. Oh, okay. Thank you, Lufa.
It's the very first episode if you want to see it. So
Yeah.
that was it.
It's
Yeah.
Wow, I know. I look back at the old videos and I'm like, oh my god, my hair looked so bad then. Jeez.
I got a
You can
good
tell when we
TV.
all
I'm
got
telling
to
you,
wanting to be TV ready.
we look great on
I
TV. I'm
didn't
telling you.
I didn't know
I've
how
seen it.
popular this was gonna be. I didn't know how many people were gonna see.
We got hundreds of people watching. I'm telling you, man, we look good on TV. I've said it a few times.
We're all gorgeous.
And
Speaking of, Lufa, nice to see you. Happy to have you
Oh.
back. How's it going?
What did you say prior? Sorry, there's like someone just. I don't know what's happening outside. There's just a lot happening today.
do
Hey,
you have
Busy
something
days.
on your face?
yes, they
Oh,
are.
that was what I asked her about in the chat.
Uh,
They're stars. They're pimple patches.
okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. We didn't have those when I was a teen.
What?
We didn't have those when I was a teen, around
Oh,
20 years
good
ago.
thing I'm not a teenager. Good thing I'm 20. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When
Lucky
was your
you.
birthday? When was your birthday?
20 years ago.
2004.
No, I'm saying like how.
Month and day.
October.
She's a Gen Z.
Oh, okay, so you're at least
beginning.
almost you're at
In
least
the-
like
almost
20
a
and a
year
half.
into
Yeah.
into your non-teens.
Listen, here's my thing. I, as a 20-year-old, would never date anyone that is a teenager, and that includes someone that's 18 or 19 years old. When I was a teenager, I was messing around with people that I should not have been at that age, with that age. And you know what? As this age now, looking back at that, I'm like, girl, oh my, come on, get a hold of yourself.
Don't be no groomer.
Learning from your past is the most mature thing that you can do.
Yes,
So,
like, man,
good
you're
job.
getting groomed. Come on now. Come on.
Although
It's a little kick.
guys will also attest to not necessarily being like, oh no, to an older woman. So there is that. Like,
Yeah.
it goes both ways. It goes both ways.
It does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got my pimple patch things, which they did not have these fun little ones when I was a teenager either.
I just love
So
popping
they
pimples.
just coming out with, or if they did have them, I didn't know.
I just love popping them. Oh.
Okay, that's like the worst thing to do for your fucking face, Brandon. That's the worst
And yet
thing
I have
to do.
and yet I have no
You could teach
scars.
me
And yet I have no scars. Uh-huh.
Brandon, you could literally teach me how to ride a bike, and I could give you the most precious skincare routine that will make you look like a handsome man in your night.
My girlfriend would love that. How about that's a fair trade? Let's do that. I'll teach you how to ride a bike. We'll set up a whole Zoom thing, and you send me all the things for a skincare routine.
I don't really want to ride a bike, but I will set you up with a skincare routine. I just need to know all of it. It will be free too. Free, because I have no medical professional or anything. So if something happens to your face, it's not on me. You got to look into it for yourself.
I mean, that's basically all the advice that we give on this entire podcast is like, we are not professionals. We are just giving out what we think is best, and you can take with it what you do.
We'll do a side quest called Brandon's Skincare Routine. The evolution of Brandon's skincare.
I mean, I have never been told that my skin is bad.
It doesn't look bad, but you know what? I could definitely see that you probably have some blackheads across those.
I know, and I love to pop them. It's great.
You gotta get Lufa's opinion on your T-zone and see what she has to say about the facial hair, which she's gonna recommend you start using for that.
Just because you don't have pimples and stuff doesn't mean that your face isn't, you know?
No, I do get pimples. I'm just okay with it because
I
I
mean,
wait
that's
until right
okay.
when they head, and then I pop them, and it's
Okay.
satisfying.
Awful. That's awful for you. That's awful. That's just awful. And it's not. I used to do that. You know what? One time, I'll let y'all in on a little secret. It's not really a secret. I thought it was pretty like mundane, but now that I'm older and I had electroconvulsive therapy, I can see that it's probably not mundane. But one time I took a razor and I cut up my face. But trigger warning. But a little late on the trigger warning. My bad. But Vaseline all over my face for a week in the psych ward, like literally slathered on my face all day long, was like this combustion of Vaseline and healing ointment, and I have no scars on my skin. My skin is healthy. It's great.
Well, just so you know, that's not a medical thing. Generations have been leaving like Vaseline and Robitussin to take care of everything. So just so you know, that is no medical advice at all.
You know what? And no medical advice at all for this either, but I think that maybe, opening up the skin might have even opened up my skin even more and made it more healthy.
My mom actually was the one who, so my love of popping pimples came from her. And so she had me, she had my younger sister, she had my younger brother. She had a lot of years of teenage-ness to basically, okay, she did hold me up against the wall one time because I kept backing away, and she went, no, I just gotta get this. I was held up against the wall.
Was for you?
Because she loved to do it, and so she would just be like, no, you have pimples? I'm getting it. Yeah, my mom was a little bit of a psychopath in that regard. I love her so much. She is my rock, but she just fucking loved popping pimples.
Then being a mom, you can't tell them no.
I can't be like, Mom, stop. She's like, I birthed you. Get the fuck.
Let me finish.
Get the fuck in the bathroom. I'm about this.
I'm telling you,
you keep backing away. Guess what? Keep backing away until you're against the wall, and then now you can't go any further.
Did you have something to say, Lufa?
I was just say, like, I love my mom, and we have, like, throughout my childhood, we've had a healthy relationship, but I feel like in every parent-child dynamic, I birthed you, if there's a mother involved, at least, or you're not.
My mom never actually had to say that. I apologize.
There's a lot. I feel like in most parent dynamics, though, and a lot of them, it's very common for the mother to say, I birthed you, so get over it. Like yesterday, I went to Sephora and I had gotten my mom her little rice thing that she's been wanting, and it was $68, but I had a gift card. She's like, I birthed you. I was like, enough said, girl. That's fine. Whatever. That's true. You did birth me, and it was not an easy birth, so whatever. You want the rice polish? I'll give you the rice polish. Fair trade.
You can.
I love Rick's comment in the chat too, because he was saying, Brandon, to you that it's the Rhode Island air keeping your skin intact. And to the mother birth you thing, Mom says I birthed you, and Rick is saying, yeah, once.
That was what I was just about to comment on as well, was the I birthed you, yeah, once, where it's like,
I
whenever like I get sort of the feeling of like, oh, I'm supposed to do this because I'm their kid or whatever. It's like, you're the ones who decided to have me. I didn't fucking decide.
Yeah, I could see that in a lot of things. In my situation, though, I was not planned. Although I have brought up the thing before. I have brought it up before. I have said to my mom before, I was like, you did have the option to get me aborted. You had that option.
My mom was 16 when she when she got pregnant with me. She fully should have aborted me. I fully shouldn't even be here right now. I was just like, no, we can't
I
do
agree
that.
with for my circumstances. I agree, but she decided to go through with it. So all power to you, girl. I did
Yeah,
not.
exactly. Like
Now-
I'm glad to be here with all you folks and everything, but it's like I can't get blamed for any
Yeah,
problems that
pregnant.
arose due to having a child at 17. You know what I mean?
I'm not the one that got pregnant.
My earliest memory is actually this picture that I showed. This is little me at the Boston tugboats,
Little B.
and
Yeah.
it's literally my earliest memory. I remember going up with my mom. We took the day up to Boston and we got sandwiches and we went to the tugboats. And earliest memory. And last
Fun.
Christmas, she got me
a good.
she got me like a print of the picture that she took.
That would be a good icebreaker question for one of the things. Like, what's one of your best earliest memories?
Oh, I like that.
Good idea, Brandon.
I like that.
Great minds think alike.
I got a few things before we move on. Yeah, and great minds do think alike. I just wasn't in that one. But Brandon,
That's not to say you don't have a great mind, Pookie. Oh, you're about
I didn't
to
get to say anything fast enough before you guys moved on. I was going to jump in there. What about me? But the thing where you said your mother had you at 16, my mother had you said 17. My mother had me at 16 too, and well, at 16, and she always says
pregnant at 16.
No, had me at 16.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and she always says that's why we're so close. We grew up together, basically, and she raised a mama's boy. All the time we spent together. So yeah, if you didn't know, my mama's boy, and it just works. It works really well.
We definitely share that. I think because my mom had like divorced parents, so she was already coming from like a split childhood, and when she had me, and then when my bio dad left, like when I was 2, it was sort of like her and I through everything, so it was like, she and I were growing up at the same time. So I get what you mean 100%.
Yeah. It took me till I got 35, this last year, to look back like I was really spoiled as a child. I didn't pay attention until a few months ago. I was actually privileged and I did not know that. I thought the things I was just supposed to be given. Didn't pay attention to take the gratitude for the things I was given. I was just thought this is what a parent was supposed to do.
Granted? Like granted or
no, my mother gave me like large sums of money, and
okay.
I didn't pay attention to things like that. I was just doing stupid stuff like buy all my friends clothes, and all my friends, we'd all have the same clothes and shoes.
If it was me, I would have hoarded that money to myself. I would not have bought anyone shit.
I had epilepsy and I didn't know that my mother was doing this just to like keep me happy, I guess, or I was 16. I don't exactly know the case, but yeah, she gave me large sums of money as a child. I'd have like $700 and she'd be like, go do your school shopping. And I'd be like, all right, why not take my friends? We can all school shop on the money you gave me.
That's really nice of you.
They got to school shop with their families as well. So I'm the only one that had clothes that I got for everybody.
I'm sure that was.
So we all had one outfit that matched.
That first day of school look that you're wearing for the rest of the school year on every Monday.
Correct.
Friday.
I got one pair of new shoes for the start of school per year. It was one item that not really clothes. Those would come with like Christmas gifts and whatever. The only thing that was really ever bought for me for the start of school was a new pair of shoes, and it would have to last the whole year.
I still
Which
have
now they don't make them to actually last a whole year, so that's harder.
Right.
I was in the same predicament, and I still have my slides from when I was 12 years old.
Can you fit them?
Yeah, surprisingly, they've grown with me. I don't know if
Still-
it's stretching, but they have grown with me. My feet-
10 years with these Toms, we'll say. I literally just pulled it off my foot right now.
I know. I'm coming up on almost when I'm 22. It'll be 10 years with my Jordan slides. And you know what? The reason I think that they fit is because I wanted a pair of Jordans because I live in Illinois. So, and the area that I was around was closer to like Chicago-ish. So the vibe was
Oh,
very much
Jordans, Chicago.
Right.
yeah, Nike.
Sorry, that took me. I was confused, and then it hit. I was like, "Wait,
Yeah.
Chicago, Jordan."
I was there with you.
Yeah,
Confused with you.
it's like it's a very trendy thing, and like where I was when I moved out here in one area of one of the places I lived, and because I would have to adapt to where I was, I wanted a pair of Jordans, which is not my style at all unless it's an all pair black, all pair of just black I like, I like Converse and Vans. That's more my style.
Same.
But
Yeah.
it whatever. But I decided that because we couldn't afford a pair of Jordans, I would get a pair of Jordan slides that I think are actually they're right here.
I'm so sorry, Pookie. I have no idea what question we were on. We'll still finish this up and get
No,
to
but
the
those
next question,
slides
but
do stretch. They do stretch and grow, and
idea
anybody
what
who
we
sells
were.
some
They're a-
imitation, it doesn't
they're
work.
a
It doesn't
woman's
feel the
seven.
same.
So I got them a size, definitely like 3 sizes too big because I remember like tripping them a lot when I was a kid. But I just loved them because they were Jordans and it made me fit in somehow. As an autistic kid, any way that you can fit in, if it's with a pair of slides that were $20, then so be it. It'll make the kid happy.
right now it's as long as you have white Nike socks, like white Nike high socks and slides,
Oh.
you're golden.
Still?
Yeah, that's still in.
That never has died down. That has never died down.
It's not gonna go away. It's not
Yeah.
gonna go away because it's comfy and everyone wants to be comfy, and instead of
I think
looking
in
like
the
they actually are gonna show up to their job.
Yeah.
But it's whatever.
and the regular Nike Dunks or whatever, the white ones and the black ones, I think that those will always be super popular. Just 'cause
What
of
was
that.
what was the next thing we were gonna move on to, Pookie?
Oh yeah, I was gonna move on. Before that, I think we were talking about like, I don't know. I think someone said how the best generation was, but I was gonna say you guys are Gen Zers. That wasn't the best generation. Your generation was eating Tide Pods and stuff. So yeah, we'll move forward
Wait,
though.
I
hang on.
never said that I had
What's-
the best generation. I never said that. I never said that.
Whoa. And
Millennials
what's the
Are a lot
cutoff?
better.
What
What's
are
the
our year
cutoff?
cutoffs here?
I forgot.
Okay.
No,
I need to know specifics because I don't want to be lumped in with some kids who were eating Tide Pods. Okay, I don't want to be lumped in with that shit.
that's your generation, man.
No, it's not.
Gen Z are the one who had those Tide Pods. And I was in.
I'm not Gen Z.
When were you born?
Gen Z starts in the year 2000.
Gen Z starts in 1997,
Right?
and I'm a millennial. I was born the decade before
Was it
that.
actually
1997.
I'm 96.
1997?
I'm 96, motherfucker. Yes.
Oh, okay. You got lucky.
Yes.
Not
I
that
just
millennials are any
fucking did
better.
it.
2001.
I'm a millennial.
Interesting.
I would have to go through that. Yeah, we didn't eat Tide Pods.
Wait, is this new generation of kids still Gen Z?
No, they believe they're Alpha.
Ooh, that's an awful name for them.
Oh, I just pulled it up. Okay.
I think they are Alpha. Yikes. Wow. This is
Oh, jeez. Christ.
Let him have it, Brandon.
So Gen Z is 97 to 2010. Alphas are 2011 to 25. Betas are 26 to 2040. Not sure why the gap is so huge there, but I think it's because they just figured out what they're going to call them, and they're just sort of running with that until they like figure something else out. But it was silent. The silent generation was 1928 to 1945.
Also known as the greatest generation, it says. Also known as the greatest generation.
Oh, is it? Okay. It doesn't say it on the thing I'm looking at, but
there are a lot
I
of people that would beg to differ with that.
And then
those were the greatest generations.
I would love to hear a lot of different people from that time period.
Wait, no. I'm actually gonna contest greatest generation. Weren't the baby boomers the greatest generation? Which was 1946 to 1964.
They think they are.
You're
The greatest
goddamn right
generation is
they are.
because they fought 2 world wars.
Let's hear Jeff and Rick on this one.
Which is me.
I know. Yeah. I can get some insight on this from
Wait a
some
second.
gentlemen who actually had parents who were living in that generation.
Wait,
1 second.
Aaron,
1 second.
I was living in that generation.
I was
They're the
trying to
greatest
give you.
generation.
I was trying to be nice, Jeff. I was trying to be nice.
I'm very proud that I'm still alive at my age, Brandon. If you knew what I went through.
Wait, but well, yeah. So Gen X, 65 to 80.
I was 48.
At 60 in 1965, you were 48.
No, in 65, I was 17, just like Jackson Brown.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, so the thing about the greatest generation thing, you said it was the boomers and all that. My grandmother, she was born in 1918. My grandmother was born in 1918, and she told us that's what they called the greatest generation before that, from 1900 to 1920. That was her generation.
This might be a little opinion based, I think. Yeah, like each one thinks like, no, they were.
Okay, wait a second.
Well, because then you have the Twin Towers that come into play, and you have, with this new era of things, there's just gonna continuously be times in life that are really hard on a lot of generations of people. So I think it's fair to say that every generation would
No.
Like
the greatest generation thing was about the amount of productivity that arose during their time period. It wasn't about what happened like in a bad way. It was about what they thought was like, we nailed it. We were the best.
We did nail it, and
Made
we
the
were the
most
best.
difference.
We changed the world.
Well, movement wise, then yes.
Yeah, that's right. We changed the entire world.
That's what
it was a black and white world until we came along.
Refers to.
I wish I was a boomer.
Like I said before, I would love to hear other people's before that, like their opinions on it, because I don't think that they would feel like their generation was great just because of the period of time that they were living in. But if we're talking about movement wise and making things change within the world and that systemic type thing, then that makes a lot more sense.
Well, that and makes the point that there will always be greater and lesser. It's a human competition, just never going to go away. So,
I think
the anti-Vietnam protests, civil rights, women's rights, like all the rights that were mainstream essentially for the boomers, They
Well,
definitely made a difference, that's for sure.
you know,
And
women
now we have like all the Me Too movements and
Yeah.
like even more protests against like, you know, global
women's rights are
shit.
still something that's
Uh,
being fought for to this day. That's still something that's being fought for. LGBTQ rights, LGBTQ plus
yeah,
rights are still
exactly. So it's
like it's
in
not anything that's really it's more
in
just like
40
we're taking the
years
right direction, but we're still taking steps back every now and then. Like right
in
now.
40 years they may call our generation like the greatest generation. You know what I mean? Like it's all subjective to what's happening in the time. So yeah, I don't know. It was
Yeah,
just
it has to do with access to media as well.
funny thing to think about. Poogie,
What you got,
you
Poogie?
had your hand up.
I looked up further because I'm trying to get because I've seen it before and I was like, I know I've seen this somewhere. And we're talking about the greatest generation stuff. So I kept digging and kept digging. But the 1901 through 1927, they called the greatest generation because they went through the Great Depression. They were teens and children during the Great Depression. That's why they called them the greatest generation.
Yeah, because you had
because they survived literally
Great
like
Depression.
the worst.
Yeah.
Like
I could see them getting like goddamn, like y'all made it through that. I would not be able to eat those foods. That would not work with my palate.
Well, that's why like our grandparents and our great grandparents were still fucking like hoarding food and like eating spam and shit.
Grandpa's
and don't you love hearing their opinions on like survivalists now?
Right.
Yes.
Has water for
days. Do that just normal. What?
I remember when grandmas was old. Grandmas was old. You remember grandmothers and grandfathers? They were always old. Grandparents these days are in their 40s and 50s and stuff. Where my grandma, she had wrinkles and gowns and.
My great grandmother died when I was like 10.
Me too.
Yeah, like I still knew my great grandmother.
Yeah.
There's a lot of memory loss within my family, so everyone died.
But I mean, just knowing that she was around and like must have been telling me stuff about like South America. That's still definitely a fond memory.
I
remember my great grandmother telling me one time that she was at the Martin Luther King like protests, like those rallies, and my young like 7 or 8-year-old brain at the time was like, you were alive that long ago, not realizing that it really wasn't that long ago. And when I like remembered that memory after realizing, oh, that's when I was like, oh, that's why she was still alive then. Shit. Okay. Yep. Fuck America.
Well, that's why I appreciate like the opinions of anybody from another country, because it's like, why are you acting like civil war is a new thing? Why do you think America is acting like, they're doing all this stuff for the first time when the rest of the world has had these cultural and societal issues?
In school, I heavily remember I would personally look up history on my own time. For the actual,
they're not teaching
because they don't teach the actual facts in school. They give you the rainbow version of it, and the rainbow version is 10 times more harmful than the actual version of it. If they would just tell us how the world had developed, that would do a lot better than the kids that are sitting in the back of the class or the front or wherever they're sitting that actually know like some parts of history and are sitting there confused because now they're like, wait, are they going to school with this information and the teacher's saying it's wrong because it's not in the book, but factually it is correct. It's just in that book, it's incorrect.
Yeah, education is taking just such a huge hit right now under the current administration, which is not going to help with
it's always that.
like with it's not going to help with anybody's issues. But speaking from like our issues, it's like, educating people about uh, a medical problem, they're not going to do that. It's not covered anymore. So we have to be like a little more conscious of that, I think. Jeff, what would you have?
In relation to what Yulufa was saying, everything we've been taught about the Vietnam War is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
We actually fought on the wrong side.
There's so many lies.
What it was little known is that before we got involved, Ho Chi Minh was fighting the French for independence for 20 years. And he was known as the George Washington of Vietnam. And he came to Washington to ask Eisenhower for help. And since the French were our allies, Eisenhower turned them down. And when Kennedy came in, he came back and asked Kennedy for help. And Kennedy, being involved with a French family and our allies, turned him down. So he did the next thing that he could do. He went to the Russians. He was never a communist.
He
He
just
was
wanted the French to stop like their control over Vietnam. Yeah.
He wanted the same thing that George Washington wanted.
Yeah.
And we
Hold
made
on
him
one
into
second.
a communist. He was a socialist.
Which
There's no question.
When you actually look at real communism that Karl Marx described, which I love bringing up communism because I share the same birthday as Karl Marx. So when you look at the way that he described communism, it was completely fair for everybody, no matter what. The way that it got misconstrued and fucked up is because people are greedy and go, oh, yeah, it's fair for everyone, but we're still going to take a little off the top.
Right, exactly. But all he wanted was freedom for his people. That's all he wanted. And he was labeled a communist and fought against until we gave up fighting with them.
Any veteran or something that'll speak out about it is immediately silenced.
Yeah.
Those things, anytime someone that comes back from the war, they're immediately put as like they have shock or they have this or they don't remember this correctly. But after so long, you can't keep blaming, and then it be proven that it wasn't them making it up.
Mm-hmm.
Years later, it's those things are proven. I have so many thoughts on so many things, but I don't know. The world is scary and I don't know what's going on. I do like to listen to philosophy to fall asleep, but last night I could not fall asleep because of the philosopher that I was listening to. I really was digging his philosophy.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.